The first trial of Alger Hiss began on May 31st, 1949, in the federal courthouse on Foley Square in Lower Manhattan in New York City. The government prosecutor was a youngish man named Thomas Murphy. He was 6'4". It was said, and he had a big handlebar mustache. It was said that his tailor was Omar the tent maker, who ordered cloth not by the yard but by the acre. Murphy used to say that he was the less famous brother of Johnny Murphy, who was a famous relief pitcher for the Yankees. Hiss retained as his trial lawyer at the first trial a man named Lloyd Paul Stryker, who's totally forgotten today, I think because most of his clients were gangsters. But he was the best criminal lawyer in America after the death of Clarence Darrow. It's said that he charged $75,000 per case. You have to multiply that by 9 to get today's values, I think. He was, in addition to defending gangsters, he was famous for quoting literature and doing everything but cartwheels and handstands in front of juries, and for writing legal history books in his spare time. A word about Stryker's strategy. Reading a little between the lines, I think Stryker said to Hiss, in some books about the case, I think Stryker said to Hiss, given all the evidence there is against you and the temper of the times, I'm not going to get you off. Nobody's going to get you a not guilty verdict. A lot of lawyers want to represent a famous client, will tell you they will, but they're lying or they're wrong. I'm not going to get you off. Here's what I will do, and the best anyone can do. I will get you endless hung juries, deadlocked juries. And after the second or third time, the government will give up. And here's how I'm going to do this. Forget the typewriter, forget the documents, hope that all puts the jury to sleep. I'm going to pitch this case very high and ask the jury, are you going to ruin the life of a man with a record of Alger Hiss based on the word of Whittaker Chambers with his record? And I will get at least one juror to buy that argument and hold out for a not guilty verdict to the bitter end. Professor Younger also thought that Stryker's strategy was to try and make the government's case into a joke. All their witnesses are professional confessed liars and commie weirdos. And as Younger said, this is a very dangerous strategy because everybody else is taking the case seriously. Only a genius, a great trial lawyer, can make a jury laugh at a trial. But Stryker was great, and see if you think he did that. But anyway, Stryker's bottom line was, I'm not going to get you off, no one will, but as long as I am your lawyer, you will not be convicted. The judge at the first trial was a man named Samuel Kaufman, not the better-known Irving Kaufman of the same court, who was later involved in the Rosenberg trial. Judge Sam Kaufman looked like some sort of Guys and Dolls character. I think he was a new judge. Some people said he was a political hack of Tammany Hall. Seems to have been perfectly competent to me. It was commonly said in the courtroom that the courthouse that he was very favorable to Hiss. In my opinion, some of his rulings favored Hiss, but some of his rulings were major disappointments to Hiss. All of them, even with a pro-Hiss one, seemed to me to be within the discretion that trial judges are given. On the morning of June 1st, a jury was chosen of 12 persons. They were all white, 10 men and 2 women. They had the following occupations: a General Motors manager, a marine accountant, an office manager, a gasoline delivery superintendent, a credit analyst, a real estate broker, who was one of the 2 females, a clerk, a dressmaker, a production manager, an unemployed hotel manager, a secretary, and a mail-order advertising man. 2 things to note about this jury, which is also true of the second jury. First, they seem middle class or lower middle class, the kind of people who don't live in Manhattan anymore. And second, maybe the dressmaker had a PhD in philosophy, but judging from their occupations, it appears to me that no one on the jury was like Hiss or Chambers. It would not surprise me if none of them had been to college. These, just judging from their occupations, are not the kind of people who sit in big offices all day wondering about what our trade policy should be with Japan, or wondering, oh, is it God or is it communism? What shall I do? And in the trials, these people were being taken into a new world, the world of upper middle class conceptual thinking and Soviet espionage. And this posed a challenge to each of the opposing teams of lawyers to make its view of the case and this foreign world not only understandable to the jury, but sympathetic and, of course, vindicating your own client. How do you make a bunch of these, not to be snotty, ordinary people identify with Hiss and Chambers, both of whom are clearly not ordinary people. And as we will see, there was a fair amount of posturing by both sides that, my client is the normal, ordinary American, just like you, ladies and gentlemen. The other guy is the weirdo. Although, of course, Hiss and Chambers were anything but ordinary. Okay, with the next video, the trial starts.